evening, everybody. It is Thursday again. 7 o'clock, hour and a half before kickoff of week 5. And the Eagles are 1-3. 1-3. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. 1-3. And it's an abysmal 1-3. It's not. And here's the thing. I have a huge problem with Chip Kelly because in his press conference on Sunday or Monday or whatever it was, goes, "Oh, we're 2 kicks away from being 3-1." You're not a 3-1 football team, Chip. Don't kid yourself. You're not. I mean, even if you make those 2 kicks, you're sitting 3-1. I mean, you're not. It's that simple. You're not a 3-1 team if you make those 2 kicks.
Yeah, it doesn't make the team look any better.
No.
I mean, it makes the record.
Yeah, it sets you
better.
up. You're good. You're set up for your division.
Exactly, but
That's about it.
It doesn't make the play on the field any better. I mean, it'll make the kickers play a little bit better, but you can't say that we're 2 kicks away from being a 3-1 team record-wise. Yeah, 2 kicks away, but play-wise on the field compared to their competitors and the other people around the league, they're not compared to those 3-1 teams out there. Absolutely not right now.
No, we're down a man tonight. Kai Williams will not be with us tonight. He has a dental school interview tomorrow up at Rutgers, so he's not going to be with us tonight. So no, did you get a K Willie sleeper of the week?
I texted him.
No, he didn't respond.
Not yet.
That's typical.
Not yet.
No response. Well, we got other sleepers, but let's get back to this Eagles thing real quick. You're listening to 98.5 WNUW LP Aston. Listen to us on the new media app, NEU Media app. Follow us on Twitter. Tweet us during the show and during the conversation. Ask us some questions. But, back to Chip. It's something different. I mean, every week there's a new thing to talk about, which is typical. But this week, he didn't take the blame. He said, it's execution. No, you got to take the blame.
Yeah,
you have to. You're the head coach and the GM of the team. You put this team together. As a GM, you put this team together. Okay, you have the keys to the kingdom of the Eagles franchise. You put this team together with the players that you want from a coaching standpoint to run your scheme, and you can't do it. And then he blames it on the execution. Is it part execution? Yes. Is it part coaching? Yes, because the scheme is not. It's too simplistic. It's too simplistic.
And he talks about its execution. However, he's the guy that picked these players out by hand.
Right.
He's the guy that brought these executors, his players, in.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're not getting the job done. And he said that he's disappointed with the guys that he's brought in who he thought could get the job done. And they better get the job done, or this season, one more loss within the next 3 weeks, it's not good.
It's starting to look like a disappointment already.
The only saving grace is that the division is so up for grabs. So,
yeah. But that's not. Before the season, we came in, and it wasn't even before the season. It was after the Packers game. Everyone was on the bandwagon of Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. But it's not just, let's just win the division, limp in because we got a weak division, and then get knocked out in the first round or the second round or whatever.
They were supposed to be dominant.
That's what I'm saying. They're supposed to be, this team that can't be beat. The offense can't be figured out by anybody. Their defense is revamped. They have a pass rush, which is non-existent. They have a secondary, which is Maxwell is hurt. They have a linebacking core that's good, not deep, but they're all down.
The most impressive linebacker thus far has been Jordan Hicks, the rookie.
Yeah, he's showing some signs of life a little bit.
And actually, one of the defensive backs I've been most impressed with, Walter Thurman's played some good football, I think. Mm-hmm. But then you got Eric Rowe, he's made some dumb mistakes, but he's made some big plays.
Yeah, he's made some rookie mistakes. He's going to make some rookie mistakes, but it's just
so
every week.
You look at the defense, and minus the defensive line, who's been very strong against the run, hasn't been able to get a pass rush going. The 2 most impressive players on the field are rookies, not guys that he handpicked in free agency, not guys that he overspent in free agency.
Yep. It's
It's frustrating.
I mean, I understand it's a lot of power to have. I don't understand. I've never been to the gym and coach of a team, but it's a lot of power to have. But you can do whatever you want to do, and everything that he did is just not. It's coming to fruition that it doesn't make any sense because you don't have the right personnel to run the offense that you want to run, and he's not adjusting. His ego isn't so in the way of him not making adjustments.
He doesn't want to change.
He does. It's exactly.
It's insanity. The definition of insanity, you hear it all the time in sports, is looking for a different result, but doing the same thing.
Right.
You're expecting a different result, and he keeps expecting a different result. He's rolling the same players out there. He's got the same schemes, and he's not doing anything different. Right now, Chip Kelly's going insane.
And I'm looking at this game this weekend. They're favored again, 5.5 is the line. But the Saints aren't great. They're 1-3 as well. It's still Drew Brees though.
And down at the stadium, the last home game against the Cowboys, people were optimistic because of the second half that they played against the Falcons in the first week.
Mm-hmm.
What do fans have to be optimistic about right now? Besides the guys that are uber optimistic and guys that are over the top and they're still on Chip Kelly, and I was one of those guys, and then I watched the game last week, and you're expecting something to change, and nothing changes.
Nope. In the first half, I think the first quarter they ran 6 plays maybe. Washington was on the field for. I mean, you look at the time possession; it was 45 to like 15.
More than
whatever it was.
More than 3/4 of the game, our defense was on the field.
Unbelievable! That can't happen. And it happens too much. It can't happen. I mean, you got guys saying they're tired already. It's week 4. I understand it's football. You're going to be tired, but if you're supposed to be the best conditioned team in the NFL. And all this sports science nonsense,
and all the injuries are
the
supposed
injury
to be cut
prevention
down.
with the protein shakes, and you got to be in bed by this time,
monitors.
and the baby monitors. It's just not working. It's not working, and he can't go on. I'm not expecting him to go in the press conference and say, "Yeah, you know what? I messed up. This whole thing's a flaw. It's all wrong." He's not going to do that. But he's got to do it in the games, and that's where it's not evident at all.
Yeah, and you want to see him make changes week to week, and it just seems like I'm hopeful that he's going to get it together, but from what I've seen, I just don't see it happening. Mm-hmm. And I was so optimistic. In Chip we trust.
Everyone was drinking the Chip Kool-Aid,
and
all of
now
a sudden it just went stale.
And now I look at the team, and I mean, the only positive you have is that you saw the offense can get down the field a little bit. I mean, Riley Cooper got involved. Zach Ertz was targeted, dropped a couple passes. I mean,
if Riley Cooper and Miles Austin score touchdowns in a game, you should win.
Exactly. Exactly.
But they find a way to, and Billy Davis with his comment of, I wish we were in that position every time at the end of the game. Why? You had the ball at the 50-yard line on offense. With 10 minutes to go, that's when you stick it down their throat. They couldn't stop Riley Cooper and Miles Austin.
And then it seemed like...
And then they try to run the ball, which they can't do.
It seemed like he took the foot off the gas, which I was confused by, because when have you ever seen Chip Kelly take his foot off the gas offensively?
I think it's a little bit of he doesn't know how to manage the game at the end of the game. I don't think because sometimes you'll see he tries to milk the clock. Sometimes... If they're up 14, we saw it last year a few times in the first year, they're up 14 or whatever, they try to hurry up to the line, and then they give the ball right back.
Mm-hmm.
I think he struggles with that a little bit, and a lot of people are making comparisons to Andy Reid.
Absolutely.
That's what everybody see. A lot of people are seeing that.
And the funny thing was on I think it was his Monday press conference, he said the quote Andy Reid line, the patented Andy Reid line.
We got to do a better job.
We have to do a better job.
Yeah.
And to hear.
You think that was a bit of a little bit of a shot towards Andy? You think it was a little bit of a shot towards the media and all the fans, because he hears it.
Yeah, I don't think he knows what people are saying, the media is saying, the fans are saying. So maybe, but I don't think it's as intentional as you may make it seem. But at the same time, he does manage the game like Andy Reid down the stretch.
Yep.
Andy Reid
He struggles with it.
Still
struggles.
He
Yeah, we saw
still
it this
struggles
year.
in Kansas City. And now you see Chip Kelly doing the same thing. And for an
Mhm.
Eagles fan, it's like deja vu.
If you could go back 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when he first came in here, what did you when the Eagles signed him when they hired him as coach? Did you like it at the time?
I thought it was innovative. I thought it was something new. I thought it was going to bring a new scheme, a new look to the Eagles organization, and it did.
It did. And you saw it in the first year. It was, nobody knew what was going on.
And in the second year, still nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah, you kind of saw the little, Foles he's a little shaky here and there.
Yeah.
But the teams weren't really catching on too much. They just didn't have a defense. They still were a 10-win football team. Now you're in year 3, and it's, okay, he's really going to roll the same stuff at us?
And I say it every week on this show since the season started, but you look at the difference in the offensive line between the first year where they were the best offensive line in the league and last year where they were a top 5 offensive line, and this year where they're a bottom 5 offensive
Easy.
line. So how much of that has to do with the inefficiency on offense? Is it all on Chip Kelly, or is it? I mean, it is all on Chip Kelly because he let two key offensive linemen go.
He let him go and brought those guys in, and he's not compensating for the fact that they're just not that good. Try something different. He keeps trying to run off tackle. They're not good enough to do that. They're not good enough to find the guy and go block up the field. They're not. They're not quick enough. They're not.
He's got to break it down.
They're not that good.
It seems that he wants to pull the guards like Evan Mathis is still playing guard, where he can get down the field with Jason Kelsey, and they just can't.
It doesn't work. You're listening to 98.5 WNUW-LPS, and if you're listening, you want to get on Twitter, I'm going to pose a question now that I just asked Clay. If you could go back when they first hired Chip, would you redo it? Would you hire somebody else? Because if you remember, they could have gotten the guy from Stanford, David Shaw, who's had NFL experience as an NFL coordinator. They could have gotten Bruce Arians.
They could have.
They passed on both of them. They went for Chip, which I'll be honest, I liked it. I loved it. This is going to be great. This is, especially since they had Vic. I'm not a Vic fan, but for that offense, I'm a Vic fan.
System, yeah.
But, if you could go back, would you change it, or would you keep it the same way? If I could go back, I wouldn't change it. I just wish I could go tell him that, hey, don't get rid of Evan Mathis and keep your offensive line intact. Do whatever else you want, but keep your offensive line intact, because that's the key to the offense.
I mean, for me, it's what I wish I could go tell and change in the past was not making him the GM, but maybe getting a GM that's friendly to him. And I'm not a Howie Roseman guy, but I'm not a Howie Roseman basher. Let's put it that way. I'm indifferent. Yeah. I'm indifferent on Howie Roseman. But I mean, you look at the drafts that Andy Reid had with Howie Roseman, and they pick flops all the time in the first round, and sometimes in the second round. And then Chip Kelly seemed to do the same. I mean, Aguilar. I don't think he's going to be a flop, but he hasn't done.
No, he hasn't done
enough.
Anything. I mean, he's only a rookie. I mean, it's tough to say with Aguilar. I mean, he showed some signs of life last week with the one-handed catch, and then I don't even know what that was. He just kind of dropped the ball. But that's another thing that doesn't make any sense to me. You just had your rookie run a 50-yard go route, and the next play you're going to have him run across the field 40 yards and get a handoff for what? They can't. If they did any type of research or game planning against this Washington defense, you could clearly see their secondary is depleted. Just throw the football.
Yeah, just get
That's
it
all you had
downfield.
to do. Get the ball down the field.
And when they did change to get the ball down the field, they moved the ball. And Sam Bradford, best we've seen from Sam Bradford. I
don't have a problem with Sam Bradford. That's the thing. A lot of people are saying, "Well, it's Bradford's fault." It's not Bradford's fault. He
looked good.
He's Sam Bradford. He has a ceiling. He can only go as far as he can. He has a limit of how far he can go. He's not great, but he's good enough. It's not his fault. This is not. Does he make some bad throws? Yeah, he does. But at the end of the day, it's not. We're not losing games because he's throwing interceptions or he's
We're losing
getting
games
sacked or
because we can't
fumbling.
score.
We're losing games because we can't score, and that's the opposite of the problem that we thought we would have.
Exactly. We thought the defense was going to be, and it's different from years past where they were losing games they lost a game on the last drive last week, but in years past, the close games that they were losing, they were scoring and giving the ball back to the offense too quickly, giving people too much time. You go back to that Drew Brees drive, Nick Foles takes him down the field, scores, but Drew Brees has a minute and 50 seconds left, and that's just too much time to give Drew Brees.
And now the kickoff went out of bounds too.
Yeah, exactly. But now you have the opposite problem where you can't put the ball in the end zone, and then you're relying on your defense to get a turnover.
You're still giving the ball back even quicker.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get the chip and the Eagles. We'll go back. We'll backtrack to that a little bit later in the show. But right now, it is time for what happened last night.
So something not that chill happened last night.
All right. So last night, I'll let you go first. You got to talk about the MLB playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll go back to Tuesday if you want to talk about last night.
Yeah, we can go back Tuesday. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll go back to Tuesday and I'll talk about the Astros-Yankees game. And I really didn't think this was going to be too much different than it was. Keuchel threw a great game. He's been great all season. And
that beard, man.
It's
God, I love
it's
the
quality.
beard.
It's quality. You saw him running out of the dugout and it's waving in the wind after they won. This Astros team,
they've got some fire.
Yeah, they have fire. It's a lot like the Royals last year, I think,
Yeah.
and they're dangerous. They're definitely dangerous because of their youth and their energy. And they talk about a lot, MLB analysts talk about a lot how the playoffs comes down to experience. These guys are riding their youth. They're riding their youth, and if their youth stays hot and Carlos Gomez can provide some kind of spark for them, an older guy on their roster, I think they're dangerous. I think they're really dangerous.
They got a shot to make some noise. They got to play Kansas City now. It's gonna be a good series.
It's gonna be a youth versus youth.
And then last night, the Pirates and Cubs, second and third best team in the MLB, go at it.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, and then you saw the little parade going out on the field with the benches clearing, and I don't know. I understand your emotions are high and it's ramped up. I don't really have a problem with the Pirates, getting all jacked up about that. I don't, because you're losing 4-0 in your own place, and or 3-0, whatever it was.
And Arrieta's not going to give you 4
You're not
runs.
getting a run off the guy. You might as well make something happen. Get some momentum going. I don't have a problem.
Some kind of
with
energy.
It.
I have a problem with. I can see them creating some kind of energy and spark by hitting a guy and maybe get some life going. But hitting Arrieta, that's
the move I didn't.
Yeah.
The other thing, he did hit 2 guys, but that guy's not going to try. That guy's not hitting anybody.
Why would Arrieta try to ruin his momentum?
He's throwing a shutout, and I'm a pitcher here. So from my perspective, as a pitcher's perspective, if you're up throwing a shutout deep into a ball game, the last thing you want to do is put somebody on base.
Exactly.
For free. And he hit 2 guys, and they were breaking balls. If you're going to hit somebody on purpose, you're going to do it with a fastball.
First one was a cutter, so that's going to have a little more life than his curveball. But the second guy he hit
the ball got away from him.
Exactly.
It hit him. You saw where the catcher was sitting up. If he's going to hit him, the catcher's going to set up inside.
Yeah.
The catcher was outside. Schwarber was outside, and he just got away from him. It went across the plate, got away from him. I don't agree with that.
I don't like them hitting Arrieta, but I like them hitting somebody to provide a spark.
Yeah.
Like I said, but hitting the other pitcher, the guy who is
That's just weak.
He's the Cubs.
That's a weak moment.
He is the Cubs' chance at a World Series, basically.
Yeah, he is.
And they're young too, so they're gonna ride their youth just as the Astros are.
Mm-hmm.
But Arrieta is the key for that team. For the Pirates to throw at him, it breaks baseball code.
It's a weak moment. It was a bad move. And you saw Sean Rodriguez just wailing the Gatorade. Did you see that today?
Oh, yeah.
He just beat the hell out of it.
Did you see what he tweeted?
No, I didn't see that.
He tweeted a note in his iPhone, screenshot, and it had a biblical quote about not getting emotional or keeping level-headed, making good decisions when you're emotional. And then he said how he's sorry that he let his actions reflect his emotions so much. And he said that He said that he already apologized to the water cooler, and they're good again.
He went to town on that water cooler, man. Another thing that happened last night, hockey is back. Hockey face-off last night. Blackhawks, Rangers, Sharks, and Kings. Fired up. Puck drop at 7:30 tonight. They play the Lightning down in Tampa. And their home opener is on Monday against Florida. I don't know what we're going to get. They're a veteran team. You know,
they got some young guys that are...
They got a couple of young guys here. It's all... You know, a lot of it all starts up with Mason. Obviously, he was good last year. He was. I mean, you can't look at goals against because that's a team effort. That's a defensive. It's a team effort. You got to look at save percentage, and he had a pretty good save percentage. I think they're gonna make some noise. I don't know if they're gonna be a contender, but I think they got a shot. You know, at a low seed, 6, 7, or 8.
I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they'll sneak in.
But I don't know how much noise they'll make.
Yeah, it's I'm not sure. The puck drops tonight, 7:30. Right now it's 7:20. Coming up on 7:21. We're gonna hit the first break. When we come back, we're gonna dive into some fantasy. Again, no K Willie sleeper of the week tonight, unless he responded yet.
Not yet.
No,
I might give him a call during the break.
All right, we'll give him a call, see if we can get a sleeper. He lost last week. Heath Miller. He picked Heath Miller.
That was bogus.
1 catch. All right, you're listening to 98.5 WNUW Essen. We'll hit a break. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. We're going to get into some fantasy football now, as we always do in our second segment of the show. And like we said before the break, Kai Williams not here, so we cannot give you the sleeper pick of the K Willie sleeper pick of the week. It's a shame.
No answer either on the cell phone. Thanks, Kai.
It's a shame. Just getting shafted over here by one of the other hosts here. But let's get into some fantasy. Lastly, let's talk about the sleepers from last week. Kai picked Heath Miller. 1 catch. 1
week.
Who did you pick? Forsett. Forsett had a good game.
Broke out, finally.
And I picked Yeldon. Broke out.
Yeah.
Finally 100 yards.
Tides have turned, K. Willie.
So I guess we're going to start our new streak now. My sleeper this week, I'm going to go with Delaney Walker.
Coming back from injury?
Yeah, I like him. Him and Marcus have a little connection going on. I like Delaney this week.
I got 2. I'm going to give you 2.
All right.
This guy, he's a questionable sleeper.
Yeah.
Charles Clay. He had a good week the last 2 weeks, but he's a tight end in the Minnesota offense. So
Buffalo.
Sorry, played against Minnesota.
Bruh.
Yeah, I definitely should get brought for that. But Tyrod likes to throw the ball, likes to get out of the pocket.
Quarterback.
He likes to find Charles Clay when he gets out of the pocket. So I like Charles Clay this week.
Security blanket. Who else?
Kamar Aiken.
Yeah, I picked him.
Baltimore receiver.
I picked him up. I like Kamar Aiken this week.
He with Steve Smith out. He's probably going to get targeted a lot, and 4 of his 5 targets last week came after Steve Smith came out of the game. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
you look at Baltimore. There's nobody to catch the football.
They're
the guy that drafted Rashad Perryman. He's been hurt, and he's not playing again this week. Smith's down. You got Crockett Gilmore at tight end, and other than that, I got nothing.
Yeah, Forsett's going to see the ball a lot this week. I think.
He finally broke out. You expecting the Cleveland's good.
I think Baltimore's really, really kicking themselves for not giving Torrey Smith some bigger money.
That's fine.
And letting him walk.
That's fine.
And Torrey Smith's probably kicking himself for going to that depleted San Fran team.
Yeah. You talk about a team that looks like a mess. I can't even move the football.
Can't play defense.
You think the Eagles
either.
have it bad? How about the 49ers? I mean, their whole team, their whole defense either got off the field issues or retired. It's crazy. And lose their coach. You got nothing really going for you on offense. You got Hyde. I like Hyde after the first week, but once teams realize, all right, Kaepernick can't really do much, because their offensive line's shot. We're just gonna key on Carlos Hyde, and I got nothing. They look bad. That's a Sunday night game. That was supposed to be a pretty good game before the season. 49ers and Giants. That wasn't supposed to be a bad game, but right now it's just look. I got Giants all the way in that game, but that's coming up a little bit later with our picks. By the way, you said I'm in the lead now with the picks
by a game.
Must have had a good week last week.
Yeah, You were 10-4 last week. You are now 40 and 22. I'm 39 and 23.
40 and 22.
K. Willie is 36 and 26.
What?
He was 8 and 7 last week. I was as well 8 and 7 last week.
10 and 4. Ugh, I'm gloating in my own.
That's a 3-game pickup there.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge by me. We should have had a little bet with that going on. We could start it now.
Friendly
but
wages.
Kai ain't gonna go for that.
Kai thinks he should be 37 and 25. Yeah, I got all the picks. I got them all written down. We can count them up.
He's not gonna. He's too far back right now. He's not gonna go for any type of bet. We could do something now.
Yeah, I mean, what do you
put
friendly
money?
wager?
Yeah, let's put money on it. We put like a Stromboli from Coco's or something.
We can do that.
All
Stromboli's from Coco's.
At the end of the year,
top-notch.
whoever's got the best record, it's Stromboli from Coco's, and maybe a beverage. But yeah, let's get back to fantasy. Last week I took Julio, dud.
Yeah, I mean,
Dud.
first time, and you saw his name. Why is his name slipping my mind right now?
For who?
The Falcons wide receiver.
Hankerson.
Yes, Devin Hankerson.
Leonard.
I'm all over the place tonight. I must not have gotten enough sleep. Wow, I'm off. Miss K. Willie's not here. I'm off my game.
Well, here's the thing. In that game, it got so... It was 42-0 at one point. 42-0. Ryan was out. Julio went out.
You saw Devontae Freeman run all over the place
Freeman
again.
went out. Yeah, 3 more touchdowns. If he went out... Houston's playing tonight. They're playing Indianapolis. No luck again. Waste of a first pick.
Who's your quarterback now?
I got Carson. Carson's nice. I'm not complaining. I got Carson. But
Surprised you haven't traded him.
Carson? I traded for him.
You traded for him.
Yeah.
Because of once
I caught wind of... Well, not because of the struggles, but... I mean, kind of. It just didn't seem like he had the same zip on the ball that he typically does. So I said, I need to make a move because there could be something wrong with this guy.
And then you went and got a guy who's got 3 weapons.
Palmer, and a couple days later, it comes out he's got a sore shoulder. And that bothers me because if you have a sore shoulder by week 3, as a quarterback,
that's bad.
That's not good.
Indianapolis
there might be something wrong with his arm. I know he does throw the ball 650 times a year, but still, that's not a good sign.
I hope, and I mean, if they're they're 2-2 right now. They're tied for first. The AFC South is looking as bad as the NFC East.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, how about some bad divisions right there, man? I mean, if you really go around the NFL, there's just. I was doing it today in my head. You go around the NFC, you got Arizona, Green Bay, maybe Atlanta, contend for the Super Bowl. And in the AFC, you got New England and Denver, maybe Cincinnati. I can't trust Andy Dalton, though. That's it. You got 5 teams.
Andy Dalton finally stepped up in a primetime game. Finally.
Yeah, he did, but until he proves himself in a playoff game.
Exactly. And I mean, I think, in my opinion, if the Steelers can hold off the waves right now and get a couple wins while Big Ben's out.
Yeah, if they can play 500 football.
If they get into the playoffs, they're a scary team. I think they're good. Their defense is finally back to Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I think, a little bit.
And speaking of, they play on Monday night against the Chargers. And for fantasy-wise, Le'Veon Bell, he didn't miss a step.
No.
He is a freak.
He's unreal. He's unreal.
That dude is ridiculous. He's involved, and I was looking at his stats today. He had first game back, he had 16 or 17 carries, and then he had 8 targets and 7 catches. And then the next game, he had 22 carries, 7 targets, 7 catches. He's just so involved in that offense. You can't. And so was Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles-esque for how much
he really is.
How much he's getting involved, how much he's touching the ball.
And it's scary. He's a better runner. Not faster, but he's a better runner. He's got better vision. He can see the holes a lot better.
If you watch him run,
he's so patient.
He waits, keeps his feet moving, waits, and then hits a hole. It's crazy.
Unreal. I mean, that's how Murray was last year. That's how DeMarco was last year. But
see what happens when you have a good offensive line.
Yeah, man. That's the same story every 5 minutes with that team. But
I'm getting a call right now. K. Willie.
Just wait till the break.
Wait till the break?
He waits till the break. He didn't even answer us.
Ignore.
He didn't answer us. Show us some respect. Don't answer the phone call. And you want us to answer your phone call?
You talked about the NFC favorites here, and obviously Green Bay.
Yeah, obviously.
And then
early.
Arizona with their defense is
Seattle's starting to creep up there, though. Well, it's since Cam Chancellor came back.
Seattle should have lost that game.
They should have.
They should have lost that game.
But they didn't. Because
the refs helped them out.
Here's the thing. Cam Chancellor's such a difference maker. He comes and punches that ball out of Calvin Johnson's hands. And, it's fumble, whatever you want to call it. Fumble, touchback. The refs called it a fumble.
Well,
he's a difference maker, man. They had to pay him.
Talk about if you want to go to the bro moment of the week right now, I can give you mine.
Yeah, let's. I forgot about that. Yeah, let's go to the bro moment of the week real quick, and then before we go to the break, we'll give you some more little fantasy advice. But Clay, go ahead. Yeah, bro moment of the week.
So my bro moment of the week is the referees in that Seattle game, and you go back to the replacement ref. Seattle got.
That's right. Yeah,
got that. They got their
whatever you want to call that. the interception,
the catch interception
touchdown thing.
Touchdown. Yeah. Well, Seattle got their playback there. They got their I don't even know what to call it. Big karma. They had some bad karma in that Green Bay game, or they got both calls. I mean,
and they got both calls.
They got both calls, and I mean, when that linebacker, was it Bobby Wagner? It was not Bobby Wagner. It was the other outside linebacker.
KJ Wright.
KJ Wright taps that ball out of the back of the end zone, and to be honest, if he just lays on it, yeah, touchback. But when that ball's batted out, it is an illegal bat.
And that referee was right
there
on that line.
He saw it. He saw him hit it, there. And they did not make the call.
Bruh.
The Lions should have gotten the ball back on the half-yard line, and who knows? Joik Bell, Amir Abdullah, anybody run the ball, and Eric Ebron on the goal line. Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate. Eric Ebron was out. You're right.
Yeah, he got hurt. But yeah, I talk about Detroit. They're 0-4. They're better than an 0-4 team. Because you remember they were beating San Diego in week 1. They put up a dud against Minnesota, and then
they were leading.
They played Denver pretty well.
They've been leading going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they
of
played
all
Denver
their
pretty
games,
well, and they played Seattle well. They just couldn't get the ball across the goal line one time.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the playoff. I mean, it's early, very early still.
It's first quarter of the season.
But you look at the playoff picture for the NFC, and you got Green Bay.
Green Bay 1, Arizona 2.
Arizona would be the 2.
There you go.
Actually, Carolina would be the 2.
As of right now.
They're 4-0, yeah.
Yeah, as of right now.
Carolina would be the 2. Arizona would be the 3. Falcons would be the 5. And whoever comes out of the NFC East would be the 4. Man. And then you got
Seattle.
St. Louis, Seattle, and all the other 2-2 teams fighting for the spot.
Seattle's going to make it.
So somebody needs, in the NFC East, that's where it's going to get.
Yeah, if you're in the NFC East, you're probably playing
Seattle.
You're either going to play Arizona, Seattle, or Atlanta, most likely.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be the 4.
I mean, you look at Carolina.
They're not. They're 4-0, but they're not 4. They're not a 4-0.
Weakest schedule in the NFL.
They played Tampa Bay. They played
Jacksonville, Houston, and New Orleans.
Horrible schedule.
And New Orleans without Drew Brees.
Horrible. That team's 4-0. Hey, they have a good defense. They really do. They're surprising me on defense. But Cam Newton he's not going to get it done.
They got the bye. They got the bye week coming up. They got Seattle, Philly, Indianapolis. Andrew Luck is a question mark still, so who knows about that game? Green Bay, and then they got Tennessee, Washington. They play all the NFC East teams. They play New Orleans again, Atlanta again, and Tampa Bay again.
You talk about the NFC South. They got pretty lucky with the NFC East this year. They got to play them. Atlanta played the Cowboys, Giants, and the Eagles already, and they 3-0. And then they got Washington this week. And Julio Jones might break the receiving record this week against that team. I mean, Bradley Cooper burned them, and Austin burned them. We got a minute till the break. Let's get a little bit of some fantasy in here real quick before we hit it. Who's who you looking to have the best week right now? Because it's going to be some guys are struggling. Oh, which stud to pick? Because it's hard to pick.
Well, I think
star.
I think
which one should I pick?
I think you just said. I think Julio Jones. Yeah. I think Odell will probably have another good week
against San Francisco.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a good week.
Did you see the catch he made last? Not
out of bounds. Same thing as the catch. The catch. And I think if you're looking at running backs this week, let's see. Running backs this week, I think
Le'Veon.
Obviously Le'Veon. I think Jamal Charles against Chicago's defense. And if I want to give you one more, I think Forsett against Cleveland.
What about this guy?
Yeah.
Not healthy.
Marshawn,
Got to get healthy.
a little banged up. Marshawn a little banged
I
up.
mean, you look at Arizona, David Johnson still doing well.
Yeah, he's still doing, Chris Johnson's doing well too. He looks like CJ2K a little bit.
I think if
quick.
you once they get Andre Ellington back, they're going to be extremely
You're gonna have a good running back.
extremely
it's gonna be tough to
dangerous out of the
stop.
backfield.
And Larry Fitzgerald looks 10 years younger. All right, 7:40. We're gonna hit a break. When we come back, we'll make our picks. Me and Clay. We don't have Kai's picks, but
We're getting them.
we'll get them. We're not gonna let him get away with that. And then we'll wrap up with some Eagle stuff. All right, so 7:40. We'll hit the break.
98.5 WNUW LP Aston Radio reinvented.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Last 15 minutes of the show here. We're going to get into our picks real quick. We'll get the picks. And then after the picks, we're going to go talk some Chip, some Eagles to wrap it up, preview the game a little bit, and then we'll get into what's your problem. All right, so, Clay, let's go down these games right now. Tonight, you got the Colts and the Texans, and no luck. Arian Foster's playing for Houston. Hey, Houston's inconsistent. I got to go with Houston. And Matt Hasselbeck, by the way, I saw a tweet from Shefty.
He was sick.
But he was in the hospital
Monday
till
night.
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Actually, Tuesday night he's being treated for a bacterial infection of some sort, and he had IV today.
So
and he said, quote unquote, he's hoping he can last 4 quarters.
yeah, I mean, he being in the hospital and on IV is completely different hydration. It's definitely going to be. He's definitely going to be cramping up. It's going to be an interesting game for the Colts.
Yeah, so I got Houston.
I'm taking Houston as well.
All right. We don't have Kai's picks. His phone died, so we're not going to get his picks tonight. We'll write them down on a piece of paper or whatever. And I will say that for last. Let's go Bears and Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs as well. Chicago's in shambles right now.
Yeah, they got to win, though. They just got to win against Oakland, but I'll take the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to get back on track. Seattle and Cincinnati. This is a good one. It's in Cincinnati. It's a good one. I'm going to go with Seattle, though.
I'm going Cincinnati. I think Andy Dalton makes a stride and kind of proves himself a little bit. I think they're good.
Seattle hasn't given up a offensive touchdown since the return of Cam Chancellor. So I'm going with Seattle. Redskins and Falcons. I'll take the Falcons. 5-0.
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons too. I think they'll win that AFC or the
South.
NFC.
Yeah,
I think they'll win the South.
Yeah, they got a head start, big time head start, and I don't think the Panthers can contend with them. Jags and Bucks, good game here. I'll go with the Jags. Just Jameis is a little rusty.
In Tampa Bay, Jameis is like throwing picks, but then sometimes he makes throws that.
Yeah,
I'm still taking Jacksonville.
I'll take the Jags.
I'm taking Jacksonville.
All right, so did you take Cincinnati or Seattle?
Cincinnati.
You took Cincinnati. All right, so we got one different. Cleveland and Baltimore. I'll take Baltimore. I think they're going to start getting hot.
I'm taking Baltimore too. I think if the Steelers start to slide a little bit without Big Ben, I think Baltimore, if they keep winning, they can make a push.
Mm-hmm. All right, Rams and Packers, and we were just talking about this during the break. You're a little iffy with this. I got to take Green Bay. Rodgers at home is unreal. He's a beast.
I'm up in the air because St. Louis has beaten 2 of the best teams
Seattle
in the
and
NFC
Arizona,
in Seattle and Arizona.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I have.
This could be make or break for the week.
I don't think Rodgers loses at home. I just don't. I think St. Louis. I think it'll be a fight. I do. I think Nick Foles plays well.
What?
Nicky franchise?
I think he plays well, but I think Green Bay comes out on top.
Yeah. Our Bills and Titans. I'm going to take Marcus. I'll take Mariota in this one. Titans.
We're going to disagree.
All right.
Create some separation here in the picks. I'm taking Buffalo. Tyrod Taylor gets back on track. Tennessee's defense is average.
All right. Cardinals and Lions. I'm going to give the Lions a win this week. I think they finally get one.
Wow.
Yep. I think they get a win this week.
I'm taking Arizona. I think Arizona's the real deal.
I think Arizona. It's going to be a good game. I think that the Cardinals will slip up again this week. I think the Lions.
New England versus Dallas.
We got a tweet from Kai here. I'm no longer a Philly fan. I'm taking my talents to St. Louis. Hashtag Foles for life. And then he hashtag Stevie franchise.
So he can tweet, but he can tweet, but he can't.
I can't give him a response. I can't even favorite it. Can't answer the phone, but he can tweet. Unreal. Patriots and Cowboys. I'll take the Pats.
Yeah, I'm taking New England.
Right. Broncos and Raiders. To Denver. Denver's good, man. They're tough to beat. They're gonna be hard to beat.
Wow. I really want to take an upset here, but
Go ahead.
I am. I'm gonna take the upset. I'm
Oh.
taking Oakland at home.
What?
I'm gonna do it.
Wow. All right. 49ers and Giants. I'll take the Giants. Odell. I'm gonna give Odell 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Odell's gonna have he's gonna toast San Fran. I'm taking the Giants
All
as
right.
well.
And a Monday night game, Steelers Chargers. I'll take Phillip and the Chargers.
I have the Chargers written down here, but I'm in San Diego. I'm second guessing myself a little bit. I'm changing it. I'm going Pittsburgh. I think the defense forces a couple turnovers. Le'Veon has a huge game.
Yeah, well, Le'Veon's going to always have a huge game. All right, Pittsburgh it is. So there you go. Let's go Eagles Saints, and then we'll preview the game here before we hit What's Your Problem. Man. Jeez. Man. This is where we're at right now. This is the way it is, actually. For Eagles fans. You look at the game, and you want to pick the Eagles, but just all the evidence just points to no. Don't pick them. Was he calling again?
Yeah, I got him. Should I put him on speaker and get him on the mic?
No, it's not going to sound right. It's not going to sound good. You can't do it. Just with it's just where we are with the Eagles. It's just where we are with the Eagles, and it's sad. It is, and the problem is, it's not the quarter. It's partially everybody. Okay, it is. It's partially everybody. Bradford makes the bad throws sometimes, and he throws the interception here and there. But the offensive line, Chip, that is where this thing starts. You have to see that, and if you can't see that, then you have a huge flaw as a coach. Huge flaw as a coach. You got to see that, and I don't see it. I don't see them fixing their offensive line this week, next week, the week after, because they're just not that good. Their guard play isn't good, which means they can't run the football, which means they can't do anything on offense for a full football game. That's the problem.
Picking against them?
Oh, man. It's so tough to do it. I'm going to go with the Saints. I got to take the Saints.
I'm taking Philly at home. I'm being optimistic still.
I'm going to take... It's going to be close, because the Eagles play close games. I'm going to take the Saints.
Right. So we're
26. I'll take 26-20.
We're gonna try this. If it sounds funny, I'm hanging up on him. No,
It's not gonna sound right. No.
Kristian wants to know.
No, it's not gonna sound right.
Kai, I know you're listening. Send me your picks. Send me them through text. I'll announce them before the end of the show.
All right. So what's your score?
Oh boy, it's gonna be high scoring.
I got 26-20 Saints.
I'm gonna say 31-27 Birds.
27 Birds.
I think
It's tough.
I want them to get downfield. If they get downfield, I think it works.
Yeah. I just nothing can tell me that they're gonna consistently do that all game. Nothing I've seen is telling me that they can do that. And until I see it, I hope I'm wrong, because I'll see it. If I'm wrong, then that means they ran the football well.
Yeah, they got to run the football well to win.
I hope I'm wrong.
They have to.
But
that's the offense.
Nothing I've seen consistent enough is telling me that they're not winning this game, because I think Mark Ingram's going to be... The Eagles got good run defense, but I think Mark Ingram's going to be a lot to handle, and I think Drew Brees is going to pick them apart.
Text from K. Willie. I'm taking whoever plays the Eagles this season because that's an automatic win.
I guess he's got the Saints then. He's got the Saints.
He's taking the Saints.
Hello?
Everybody against the Eagles. All right. Yeah, so I got the Saints. 26-20. You got the Eagles 31-27. We will see on Sunday. Right now, it is time for What's Your Problem?
Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, we got a problem here?
All right, everybody. Well, we don't have the famous, the problem starter with K. Willie. And I know everybody loves his problems. He does have good problems. I got to give it to him.
they're great.
We don't have him this week. So we got me and Clay. I feel like I got a good one for you guys. But Clay, I want you to start it off. You got one? You have your problem?
I don't have a K. Willie problem or a real
No
life
one's
problem.
no one's got a K. Willie problem.
I have a sports problem.
All right.
This is gonna go straight into the Eagles locker room. After the game, they talked to Nelson Aguilar in the locker room, and he said about that reverse play,
Right.
that he was given a bad pitch by Ryan Matthews. Called him out. I know he's a rookie.
Yeah.
I know he's a rookie, but you don't do that.
Yeah. I'm sure Matthews said something to him afterward and say, "Hey, come on." And that's what really.
Yeah, you
kind of
can't
takes
do that.
It kind of pulls the team apart a little bit. You start blaming everybody else.
The whole locker room's getting me fired up because you got Chip Kelly saying to DeMarco Murray, if you want the ball, get healthy. You got DeMarco Murray saying he wants the ball more. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Chip Kelly and DeMarco are going at it.
That's not good. When your free agent running back says, "I should be getting more touches," maybe you should listen to the guy. Maybe you should take a listen, Chip, and listen to the guy. Give him the football. Now, I understand you can't run, but you're not running it the right way. Go look at the film last year from Dallas. You don't have the same offensive line Dallas has, but they scraped the line, and Murray would cut back. They're trying to run everything off tackle. He is an in-between-the-tackles runner that goes downhill. Everything he's doing is starting east and west, and then he's trying to say, okay, well, then go downhill. He's not. That's not him. That's not who he is.
Give me your problem, and I actually have K. Willie's problem on text.
Oh, wow. All right. My problem is people driving. When you come up to a red, you're driving, and the light's in the distance. The traffic light is in the distance, and it's green, and you're 50 yards away from it.
Stale green light.
Hold on. It comes to yellow. It turns yellow. So now you got to make the decision: do I brake, or do I go red, or do I stop? Whatever. So you decide to brake, right? And the person in front of you decides to brake. They're getting the turning lane. You get in the turning lane. Okay, this happened to me this past week. They get in the turning lane. I get in the turning lane because I'm going to turn. They're going to turn. This guy, as he comes up to the light, it's still yellow. So he's kind of jetting his way out there into the middle of the traffic, into the middle of the intersection, and he sits there when it turns red. If you go out, you're supposed to turn. Just make the turn. He sits there in the middle of the intersection, and I already creep up because I think he's going to turn, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the line already.
Yeah.
I'm at the line already, and he's stuck in the middle, and he tries to back up. I can't go nowhere because there's cars behind me. This guy's halfway out to the intersection. Dude, get it together with the driving. You can't just sit in the middle of the intersection with cars going over the place. You got to make a decision.
That's a big no-no.
You got to make a decision. What's Kai's problem?
All right, so I'm going to try to give you a good K. Willie impersonation here.
Oh, jeez. Right.
Usually he starts it off by, I got a problem. So his problem this week. This is a quote. I ate hard-boiled eggs. Hard-boiled eggs. And my garlic smelled like, or my breath smelled like garlic for the rest of the day. Okay. Moral of the story, people. Moral of the story. Pay attention to expiration dates. Unreal. Hashtag.
You get a bad batch of eggs?
I guess. Hashtag.
How do you get eggs? We don't even have eggs.
He probably, I don't know. That's a good point. Hashtag vote.
That's his fault.
Vote Donald Trump. Hashtag vote Donald Trump.
He's got...
That's what he wrote. Hashtag. That's my problem.
He's got a problem with himself then. He's not checking the expiration date on eggs. He's got a problem with himself.
Yeah.
Come on, Kai. You got to be better than that.
That's a classic K. Willie move, though.
No, it's not. He's a health freak. That kid's a health freak. I lived with him for 4 years. He's a health freak. He's a health nut.
If we told his mom that, she would be very disappointed.
Yeah, Nicole wouldn't be very happy with that. She wouldn't be very happy with that. All right. We are going to get out of here. All right. Next Thursday at 7. We'll lead you up until kickoff.
K. Willie will be back.
K. Willie will be back. She'll be back. The K. Willie Sleeper of the Week returns next week. Again, I'm Kristian DeLuzio, Dave Clay. Nice doing it with you. I love it.
Go Birds.
This is 98.5 WNUW LPS, and we'll see you next Thursday at 7.
We counted all our reasons, excuses that we made.